Does that make sense at all? All right.
Do you have an example of the numbers where it would be statistically significant?
That's the next one. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this one I wanted to do because we're eventually going to be getting to data science topics in here. So one thing that I had a long time ago, an interview at Facebook. And when I was doing a lot of research, I was like, okay, what do they do at Facebook? What's the kind of data science work that I would see at Facebook? So a lot of, like, you would see this at many tech companies. Anybody who has a website that they go through and adjust over time. So you'll think that Facebook looks very different than it did 5 years ago. So how did they decide how to change it from the old website to the new website? So you probably don't know this is happening. It's totally random. So when they're trying to decide whether they want to make a change to their website, they'll show you the old version and they'll pick probably half of you randomly to show you the new version. They'll change one small little thing, and then they'll look at how many times you've clicked on through the Facebook site, or how long you've looked at the page based on that small little change that they made. So if one group that saw that new web page clicked a bunch more times than that old website, then that gives them some information that, oh, we should probably change to the new version. So it's something that's happening on the back end that you probably weren't ever aware of, but they're continuously running experiments on you. So when you apply for a job there, one of the first questions that they ask you is, do you know how to run experiments? Do you know experimental design? And that's because this, at a very small scale, it is an experiment that they're running. And they would run this test in order to see if those two web pages created significantly more clicks. So they would actually be running this exact test. So this is called A/B testing, what I just explained. So there is an example online. The link is, if you go up here, this is the link to go to it. What I try to do is to show you things several different ways, and then maybe one of them will stick. So there is an interactive at that particular link I just showed you. You can adjust, like, say you wanted to pretend that this was 20 and this is 200, and then you could input those values and see how it changes over time. So I think that that's useful, because then you can just play around with it and see how your significance level changes, and that'll help you understand what's going on. But the example in this case is you have 435 visitors to your website in total. So 18 out of the 220 users, they saw website 1, so the old website. 6 out of 215 users, I saw website 2. So we are going to look at whether that difference we're seeing over here, just like we saw in the other case, these are frequencies. So 202 people that saw website 1 did not click on anything. 18 on website 1 clicked on something. And you'll see website 2, 6 people clicked versus 209 down here that didn't click. So this is very typical of A/B testing. The click values are going to be much smaller than the non-click values, because people who tend to go to the website usually don't interact with it, actually. So they would, in reality, it would look a lot like this. So just as we saw before, this is kind of our average or standardizing of to get our expected values. So what you would expect if those website 1 and website 2 didn't have a significant difference in the number of clicks. So we, again, as I showed you before, we would take that column sum, like 24 down here, and our row sum, 220, and divide it by the total number of observations. So this is going